I can get ourselves over and then come up where we're still in control of this guy, right? We're not letting him sail over the top of us. And we should maybe even be forward at this point, right? Which is okay. So now we can stop him from getting here.
Wait, but would you just hold him up then until 2 crosses, I guess?
So what you could do is come over and hold him up here, okay? And you can hold them up for a while, right, to go up there, if you have more of that light to medium breeze. If it's extreme and really light, what most likely you're going to do is come here, and as soon as you get him up, this boat's probably going to have to tack, right? And we have to be ready to tack out as well. You might be a little bit back, but you won't be slow.
And he'll be going away from your teammate.
And he'll be going away from your teammate. So now you've kind of played this game to protect him out. This boat can be progressing as much as they can, and then maybe look to be back on the lift or whatever else they can to get back into the game, right? Sailing the right shift and sailing this course well. Okay? So this is kind of like filling the void. I think this happens from the left a lot, where we come out, really high, where we can put our bow down and actually just sail here. Where we have speed and control, and we can let this teammate progress. And if this guy gets too close, right, we think it's going to be an issue, we've got room to slow down and even slow ourselves down in here. So now we can force them to come out and get control. So again, really working on, instead of just staying here and watching him be able to cross, coming down and stopping him from getting to your teammate. This will keep the flow on your board and be able to stop them from coming over. Mistakes that we can be made by doing this is going too low. Right? That certainly could be a mistake and we put ourselves out of it. It can also make a mistake by allowing them to get over the top of you with speed or getting ourselves too far down speed. Right? So it takes practice to know exactly where to put that boat in that condition. Make sense? All right. Let's talk a little bit about this last beat that we've been sailing. Okay. From a 1-2 standpoint or from a play 1 standpoint, what we need to do is we're going to have a lot of work as we round here, round our leeward mark, and making sure that we are going fast, right? We're worried about our position, right? The filling void, stuff like that, that's going to happen right away, right, off of here in the first few tacks, right? And making sure we're talking. Got to make sure we're communicating of who's where, when someone's getting weaker, etc., etc. What happens, quick quiz for the playbook, what happens if you start to lose your pair, right? Or you're starting to lose on your side and the other side's getting much stronger? What do you yell out?
Cool.
Cool. Right? So cool means you're in trouble, right? There's something problem. So if you yell out cool, your teammates can look over and be like, oh, we've got to do something to rebalance, right, and get things going again. If somebody yells out at you, are you okay? Right, like you've got your guy, are you set, you keep going. If you think you're okay and you're good to go, what should you yell back? Speed. Speed means keep going. Game's good, we're going. Right? So cool if you're in trouble, speed to say we're all good. Keep the plan going. It's really simple, easy play to do that.
Yeah, that's quite cool. Why the word cool?
What else would you yell?
No.
No, slow. Speed is very easy to pick up.
Right.
And cool is very easy to pick up. Like it doesn't, with anything else you would say, it doesn't, overlap with anything else.
Okay.
Right? With that. it can't be deciphered by hands. Right? It can't be deciphered as okay or whatever else you would say. So that's why we pick a word like cool and pick a word like speed. It's a very significant syllable.
Okay.
Because when it's really windy, it's not, you can't really have like a soliloquy out of it. Right? You gotta make sure it's really, really concise.
But you would also call speed for that different kind of fast rap, right?
Right. So when you're yelling speed, right, from that, what are you telling them to do?
Go fast.
You're going to keep going in that same spot, right? We're not really doing anything to slow it down. We want all the boats to go fast in this situation. That makes sense. So if you had the 3 boats that are coming down to that speed, everybody should know that, oh, that's a speed pass back. Okay, we'll go ahead into that. All right. So rounding this leeward mark, let's take the other way and see how we can chase. First off, what's our golden rule here as teammates round this mark? First of a pair tacks. Okay. When do we want this first place boat to tack?
After 2's fully arriving at the boat.
Okay, after 2's fully around the mark, and the teammates there as well. Right? So we want to try to hold on to this as much as we can. Again, that's going to be gauged with the velocity of the breeze. Okay? So wait till this guy comes over so we can tack over, and we're cutting down this inside lane. Right? So this boat comes over, this boat's going straight. Okay? Now, what are you going to do if you're these 2 boats chasing? What's your plan?
To try to tack in the middle of the water.
Okay? So we want to get in between here. We want to get in between that space as quickly as we can. Right? So how are we going to do that?
Make them cross each other.
Okay,
The first
so we
2
can get them
boats.
as they cross each other, right, and come together. That's a weak point where they could make a mistake, is when teammates come together. So what do we need to do to induce that?
Split and come back together as well, and kind of bring the boats back that are covering.
Yeah, you got to start threatening the inside lane of their coverage, right? Have to be able to start threatening that. So if we're coming around here, we don't want to destroy the speed here of 3. Okay? So we want to be able to do, same thing applies for our teammates, but for our opponent teammates back here. It's first of a pair tacks. So they get a little leverage and tack over. Okay, now they know they're being covered. So as soon as you tack over, what's the next move?
Tack.
Thank you. This is like pulling teeth. Tack back, right? Now what do we give 1 here as an option? Supposed to progress a little bit. What should our red 1 do?
Tack.
Right? Probably tack back. Okay? But what is red 1 given green 2 here?
Hit the inside on 2.
Is he between? Is he playing the keep away game? Not very well. Right? It's open, and 2 can, if they get enough room here, get enough room here, vertically, they can put their bow down a little bit and start attacking that middle lane. Does that mean that they've broken it up and it's over? Not necessarily, but they have to come down and play. Right? So now you have a 2-on-1. Right? Which means that this teammate could sail free. Right? So you're trying to disrupt that and trying to mess them up. Okay? So let's reverse a little bit on this. This boat tacks over, right? Has a good tack coming out of here, and they're going to tack again. What should 1 do here? Or what should anybody do? Okay, so if we tack here, again, we're in the same situation. So how can we change the situation?
Would they tell 2 to like try to head up green 2? Like, could they tell their other teammate to get on them?
So having this teammate tack.
Or, like, at least head up so that he would get stuck.
So I think you have two options here. We all realize the situation, right? What the issue is, right? So here, if this boat tacks and it's going to be tight to come back across, what can work really well is when this boat tacks, this boat tacks. Okay? Now we have this opponent that's up here, right, is here. Okay. How are we doing? If we're red.
Okay.
Doing okay? Right? So now we're going over. Now what's going to happen next?
Doesn't this have like little stability because you're kind of like end up going off? And
So what's happening is that as we're going here, right, this boat's getting to the edge of this guy's zone, right, and this boat's getting to the edge of this guy's zone. So we're losing, you're right, we're losing a little stability, a little bit of control because we're getting to the edges of our coverage zone, right? We all said earlier that that's what we're most uncomfortable is when they get to the edge of that. So how can we solve that right away? This boat tacks over, and then they both tack. Okay. So now, what does green do? They can both tack again. Right? And start. Now we're back again, starting up, and back stuck in that situation. Right? And it goes again and again. What is green doing well here?
slowing you down.
Slowing him down, they're forcing him to tack, like all the time. The power of two boats tacking simultaneously like this and not hurting each other, right? If you both tack into each other, that's not good. Right? But if you tack simultaneously like this, you can attack that zone. So this isn't totally giving us the control that we want. Ultimately, what we want to end up with if we go back to this situation, is that we want this boat to go fast, right? For right now, out of the mark, out of there, we want him to go fast. So as this boat tacks over, we want this boat to tack right away. You know, or even if they tack up high here, what should this boat do? Put their bow down right in this lane. Right? So now, when this boat tacks over, right, this boat can tack in control, right, and we're okay. Now this boat's done a lot of tacks. This boat has done equally as many tacks, right, in this situation. So that's pretty even here. This boat's gone straight, right, and this boat's gone straight. So we're okay in this situation. So if we're able to come here and face and force them to come back over and be able to tack and control, we're good to go. So again, that tack we can be, right, if it's too tight for us to slam that tack here, we think like it could be a foul or anything else, it's okay to tack a little bit up here, but then just come out of that tack low. Right, come out of that tack low, and then just ride yourself up here so we're blocked. Okay. We force them to tack over. Now, what should this boat do? What should our two boat out here do? Start thinking about doing.
Attacking soon.
Tack as well. And work their way inside the race course a little more like here. Right? Shift yourself into the right. Shift yourself into the center rather, sorry. Okay? So we're in a little bit more control. Okay? We don't want to let this boat like be out here. Right? We just want to be able to do tack and tack back and get ourselves in a good spot. Okay, control. And now, this teammate can't get here, this opponent can't get here, right? And this opponent can't get there. Right? Block them out. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's come up with one other scenario here on this. What if these guys don't cooperate? What I say by that is there's a little bit of distance, a little bit of time,